Making a statement in the city has somewhat changed over the years. Once upon a time, if you wanted a car with all the latest tech, was really comfortable and something to show the rest of the world that things were going pretty well, then a luxury saloon would have been just the ticket. Something like the Audi S8, for example. Loads of space, plenty of oomph under the bonnet. But times, they are a-changing. With more of a focus on the environment impacting all aspects of our lives, it's no surprise that major cities are penalising more powerful, less eco-friendly cars. For city dwellers or people who commute to the city by car, then the electric car is coming more to the forefront. And what better example to show you than the Cupra Born. Fully electric, practical, nippy, and one of the most eye-catching EVs on the market today. I'm Grace Webb, and in this Versus video we're going to be putting two completely different cars to the test to see if they can cope with city driving. Does the S8 still have a place in the city? Can the Cupra compete with the space and practicality of the Audi? Well, that is exactly what we're going to find out today. Both cars here have boatloads of technology. In the S8, we've got this really cool dual screen setup with the top half for your usual navigation and media functions, whereas the bottom section is for your heating and ventilation. The virtual cockpit behind the steering wheel is super clear, easy to read, plus you can configure it to show a variety of different readouts. Both these cars are practical, but in completely different ways. The S8 is a classic saloon car. There's plenty of space for people in the back, plus a 505-litre boot with electric boot lid. Plenty of space for those weekend bags and suitcases, but not as much space as a Mercedes S-Class, mind you. Moving to the Born, it's a far more screen-centric setup. In fact, nearly all the car's functions, including the heating and ventilation, are controlled through this central screen. It's a bit busy, if I'm honest, but you can connect to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which makes things a bit simpler. The Born, being a classic hatchback, has got good space inside and a decent boot, measuring 385 litres, 5 litres more than you'd get in a Volkswagen Golf. So it's all very well having all this space, but what are they like to drive on city roads? Let's find out. Since we've got a big V8 powered luxury car and an electric car, you could say that it's chalk and cheese. The S8 has a twin turbocharged V8 engine which produces around 563 brake horsepower and 800 Newton meters of torque. That means a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 3.6 seconds, which is really impressive for something so massive. But, as you might expect, fuel efficiency isn't that great, with a claimed 24.6 miles per gallon combined. But because it is so big, I feel like I am constantly checking the outside of the car when I'm trying to nip through busy traffic. And it's a shame not to use all of that horsepower or hear the roar of the V8 engine when you're stuck on the busy city streets and constantly coming to red lights. Now, we've touched on some of the tech features that the S8 has, but one of the things that helps when it comes to driving are the drive select modes. You've got dynamic, which will really unleash the power that it has, but for cruising around the city streets, then Comfort Plus is what I'm using today. And there's many more driver assistance aids on the S8, such as pre-collision alert, lane departure alerts, and there's something else that will help with parking on busy city streets. And we're just coming up to a space now. Okay, I found a nice tight parking spot. This is the city after all, and it requires parallel parking. Not many people like parallel parking, but luckily the S8 has got a park assist. So I've driven past the space I want to park in. I should be able to press this button on the screen. It tells me to take my hands off the steering wheel, apply the brakes and press and hold the park button. It's detected the space, so if I let off the brake, it should park the car for me. This is pretty cool, autonomous driving. But you have got to trust the car that it stops when it needs to. It's pulling forward again and has neatly parked in that space that I've spotted. Nice job, Audi. So now we're in the Cupra Born and it's a completely different ball game. It's got a fully electric setup. This one has a 77 kilowatt hour battery, which means you can get around 343 miles between charges. Plus, the Born is capable of charging at speeds of up to 135 kilowatts. So you could take it from 5 to 80% in as little as 35 minutes. The Cupra Born is something relatively new. It's only been on sale for a short time and it's definitely turning heads as we're driving along. It's completely different to drive compared to the Audi, as you'd expect with it being an electric car. In terms of the tech on board, the Cupra does have different drive modes similar to the Audi. There's comfort mode, range, which is their eco-friendly mode, or if you want to spice things up a bit, then there is performance or Cupra mode. It does feel a bit more basic in here compared to the Audi, but you might expect that because it is at a lower price point. But I'm not so keen on the fact that all the car's features are located in this central screen, such as the sat-nav, the aircon controls, the radio. It just makes it a bit fiddly to use when you're driving. The Cupra's tiny dimensions have made it easy for driving around town, so it should be easy to park as well. But what's more is that the Cupra does come with park assist, which means it will basically park the car for you. This should be a doddle. So I've moved the Audi and I'm now going to try and park the Cupra in the exact same spot. So the Cupra is a lot smaller, so it should be easier. Now there was an easy button to press on the Audi, but the parking assist is hidden away on this touch screen. So I need to click a few buttons and it's located the spot. So at least I have two hands free now in the Cupra. It's parking by itself and I can just use the brake if I feel like I need to stop the car, but it should stop itself before hitting. And it's neatly parked in the space for me. Look at that. If you're in the market for an S8, then you probably won't be looking at a Cupra Born. Now, while these two cars aren't direct rivals, what our video has proven is that the technology that was once the sole domain for luxury cars like the S8 has now trickled down into more mainstream cars like the Cupra Born. We've also proven that despite its size, the S8 can cut it in the city thanks to the helpful tech on board. However, we can't help but feeling that a more compact EV like the Cupra Born, thanks to its practicality, low running costs and state-of-the-art tech, is the future of city motoring. Thanks for watching this video and let us know in the comments, which one of these cars would you have? What would be your ideal city car? Or would you have something else? Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe so you don't miss a single upload.